The goal of this ideology is to ensure that the blacks are kept comfortably in their place and are not antagonized to seek any further positions in society. There is no other word, in my opinion, that encapsulates the racial tensions in Jamaica than the word bad mind. See, on the surface level, we could say bad mind is jealousy or envy, but it goes deeper than that in Jamaican culture. We use bad mind to shame people who have not been able to attain certain levels of accomplishments, and we use bad mind to silence people who we don't want to speak out on certain issues. Invariably, a lot of black middle-class Jamaicans have a real issue with public discussions around the economic inequities in the country, with public discussions about the historical systemic nature of these inequities. And so I was very surprised when I came upon research done by the late Carl Stone in 1974, in which he looked into this very issue of the Jamaican middle class and their desire to assimilate into whiteness. In essence, the multiracial ideology that has normalized white dominance reinforced negative self-images among the black population, and this has resulted in internalized self-hate and self-contempt among Jamaica's black population. But we already know this, right? And that's why much of the things that black Jamaicans enjoy are seen as ghetto and classless, even by other black Jamaicans. Stone's research says, the ruling political elites and the indigenous members of the business class, both of whom have consistently emphasized the importance of foreign capital for Jamaica's future development, therefore have a vested interest in propagating an official racial ideology that reduces the level of local antagonism to the phenomenon of white foreign dominance of the economy. The notion that white is right and black is wrong is a central part of Jamaica's racial ideology. And because the goal of this ideology is to ensure that the blacks are kept comfortably in their place and are not antagonized to seek any further positions in society, it is therefore serving of the elite's interest to call anyone who speaks about these issues bad mind. Carl Stone said, the extent to which foreigners and whites continue to control the economy and thereby provide employment and livelihood for so many white-collar, working and lower-class persons perpetuates myths about the inability of Jamaicans to run their own affairs. Mass impoverishment means that much of the mass hostilities, antagonisms, and frustrations are directed towards other persons in the same condition of impoverishment who confront each other in the often violent struggle for physical, social, and emotional survival. These factors have merely reinforced the dehumanizing experiences of slavery and the anti-black racist values it generated. And the evidence of black acceptance of the status quo can be found in the fact that in Stone's research, as well as in another of the books that I've read, they found that overwhelmingly black Jamaicans preferred to work for whites because among the reasons is that they were treated better or they were paid better. And of course, we know many Jamaicans have stories to tell about the treatment that they have received from black managers and black supervisors in the workplace. A large percentage of the Jamaican working people have accepted the official ideology of race, which de-emphasizes conscious thinking in racial categories and leaves untouched basic attitudes of self-contempt that resist change and are hostile to themes and messages of black solidarity. Poverty, unemployment, low educational opportunities, and the hopelessness and parasitic paternalism they breed in political life force poor black Jamaicans into a bitter struggle for survival in which the closest enemy is another struggling poor black. The persistence of both anti-black stereotypes and negative stereotypes about the nature of the Jamaican people is partly due to this factor. In addition, White affluence encourages pro-white attitudes. The class arrogance of the black middle class alienates working and lower class urban blacks by weakening the tendency towards black solidarity. I know that there are some who will say that this research done 50 years ago does not apply to Jamaica today. And I would like to hear from ordinary Jamaicans whether or not you think that this is the status quo that exists in the country today. Because the more I see posts and comments from people who would be considered among Jamaica's middle class, the more obvious it is the amount of contempt that they have for poor black Jamaicans when it comes to matters of public interest. And in doing so, they're simply performing their rightful role, which is to shut out the black underclass, protect the non-black elite, while preserving their own economic and social interests.